Hello, everybody. Good evening. Aloha, and welcome back to our monthly meeting in person. So tonight is a little bittersweet for us, for your whole community, and I just wanted to acknowledge this. I wanted to ask if we could just take a moment of silence for Uncle Lawrence Cabanilla, who passed last month. And maybe we just take a moment and we can talk more about that. You know, ironically, I'm sure he would not be very happy that we just did that on his behalf. For those of you who have been coming for the last 2 years, I think, he took on the kuleana of starting our meetings with prayer and his personal one-on-one conversations with God that he kind of let us be part of. Feel like he was just talking to him by himself and we were just here in the room. So of course we're going to miss his presence and his guidance and his wisdom and his opinions. But we also have, I think, joy in knowing that he made it home before he went home. And so we have that. We hold on to that. And so I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to ask Earl Kukahiko to lead us in prayer tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard to replace Uncle Lawrence, but I'll do my best. Pulikako, let us bow our heads. Makainoa kamukua ame kikeiki ame ka uhane hemolele. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this day and for this evening. We thank Thee for this time as we come together in fellowship and as we come and talk story and we come to heal as we move our town forward. We ask Your blessing for all the things that You have given us. We ask that You be with us as we now move ahead. We ask that You guide us all and protect us all. Take us home safely. For all these things we ask and praise in Jesus' name. Imau aku kaloko mai kai o ka haku o Yesu Kristo. Ame ka aloha o ke akua. Ame ka launa pu ana o ka uhane hemolele me o ko apau. Amen.
I'm going to turn it over to Christina.
Hey, mahalo, Mayor. Hello, folks. It's a pleasure to be back with you this evening. I'm Christine Matsuda, and for those of you who I have not yet had a chance to meet or talk story with, I'm helping out with the Office of Recovery, and I'll be just sort of helping to facilitate this evening's community meeting. So just a little bit about what we're going to be covering today. We have progress on the TDS restoration, updates on the Wahikuli Gravity Sewer Project designs, proposed enterprise zones, hazard mitigation, wildlife risk reduction updates, support for owner builders, and of course updates from the Office of Recovery. Coming up next, please mark your calendars. We're going to be back on Wednesday, January 7th in the new year, 5:30 p.m., same time, same place. And next month, we expect to and plan to have presentations also from the the Department of Oiwi Resources about the Lahaina Royal Complex Master Plan. So really looking forward to that. So I'd like to invite Mayor back up to give us some opening remarks. In 1 second.
I feel like it's been a month since we've been here. So I just wanted to point out that we no longer have that stoplight on your guys' road anymore near the temporary debris site. That would have been the first sign to everybody that project was completed, and I think we're going to get a closing report pretty soon about that. So I did want to give a mahalo to USACE for finishing the work at Olowalu, finishing the work up at the landfill and being ready to move the community on to the next phases and work that we have. We have a packed calendar tonight, a lot of people that are going to give good information and updates. Of course, if you have questions, please make sure you come up, speak to us at the tables. Of course, you can talk to administration, myself and my team as well, and we'll open up for some questions later. So without further ado, we're going to get on with our program. I'm sorry, yes, I did see her here. We have our council member from West Maui, Tamara Paulton. She'll address you next.
Thank you.
Aloha mai kakou. Couple of things from the legislative side. On December 19th, we will be planning a ceremonial resolution for Uncle Lawrence to honor his life and honor the family. So if you feel so inclined, you can come and pay your respects and give testimony if you'd like. If you haven't yet heard, Bill 9 passed first reading, 5-3. And second reading is scheduled for December 15th. Other than that, I think the most relevant council business this Friday, Committee Report 25-84 on Bill 171 is scheduled for first reading. And this is to extend temporary real property tax relief for Lahaina properties that haven't yet been rebuilt. There are a couple amendments that have been suggested to clarify who it applies to, because the wording currently says like in areas where infrastructure and other things haven't been restored and prevents occupancy. So kind of want to extend it to the entirety of the burn zone where people haven't been able to complete rebuilding, as well as to make it not apply if the property is sold. So as I am not a voting member on the committee, I would propose that at first reading. And also this Friday, depending on if there's negative feedback or positive feedback, we may be passing the Napili Enterprise Zones, which the mayor's economic director is here to tell you more about and refer you to where you may ask questions on that. So if it's favorable, then we may pass it on Friday as well. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. Okay, so before we invite USACE up to present, I think there's a little bit of an expression of gratitude from the county for all of your fantastic work. We really appreciate you.
So as you have all come accustomed to know, many of the folks that have come through Lahaina to help us are here on a limited basis, and then they get reassigned to other projects around the state and around the country. And so I know we're going to demonstrate our thanks and our gratitude, and I'd first like to call up Lieutenant Colonel Biggerstaff. If we can give him a nice hand. As they'll be giving their final report tonight. Mission Manager, Mr. Kato, also please approach us, and please also accept our small token of appreciation. These folks have been with us from the very first day, and I know all of you who signed your ROEs and you folks got your property cleared. Yeah, there were some bumps and some obstacles along the way, no question. But these were the folks that never gave up on us, kept coming in every day and putting in the work that we all needed to continue to move forward. And of course, the final piece I talked about earlier, Olowalu and the final permanent debris site. So I just wanted to thank them in their last meeting with us tonight and give them a chance to update and speak with you folks. Thank you so very much. Thank you guys. You guys can come out of the light.
Mahalo, Mayor. Mahalo for everyone being out here tonight. As Mayor had mentioned, We are very much wrapping up our mission here on the west side of Maui. It definitely is a bittersweet experience for us. As you drive by Alualu, our temporary disposal site, you will see a few trailers, a few scales remaining, but those will soon be gone. If you were to go up the site, you'd see a restored area that looks nearly identical to how we found it. All we're waiting for now is a few environmental tests that come back so we know that we have left that environmental space as we found it and all is good. And once that is complete, we will be making our way back to other projects. You all have seen a lot of people come up here and stand and talk to you over the past 2+ years. So I guess I should say on behalf of Colonel Curry, Colonel Swinson, Colonel Peavy, Colonel Jones, Colonel Kendall, and myself, we want to give you all a very, very big mahalo for the patience, the kindness, and the aloha you've shared us and our team this entire time. It has been truly a career treat for all of us to be here and work with you all. The county, our federal partners, the state, FEMA, EPA. It's been an amazing partnership, and many of the hundreds of USACE employees that have come through, they have told me that this has been the most impactful and important mission they have had. And it's because they've worked with you and you've brought them into the community and let them see what the impact was. So this has given a renewed energy to many people. We've had some people first time coming to respond to an emergency at this site, and they've signed up to continue doing this work because they've seen the direct impact it has on you. So while we are sunsetting this mission, the Honolulu District, composed of people that dearly care about Hawaii people, the land, and the water here, that are part of the community. They will continue to support you. We're currently working on certain projects right now that will prevent natural disaster, and we hope that we maybe would cross paths on that project or other projects we have around Maui, the other counties. So on behalf of all the USACE employees that have come out here and served, we are very, very thankful for the opportunity, and we appreciate the community that you gave us along the way. With that, I'll pass it back, but we really appreciate the partnership we've had, and we do look forward to crossing paths again.
Thank you, Colonel. I just wanted to give one update in case anyone is wondering about what will be happening to that area. That land there was loaned to us by the state. I believe it's the Department of Land and Natural Resources that actually owns that part of that Olowalu Cinder Cone area. And so I'm just saying, Kamaile, hang on, Kamaile, hang on. We can talk later. But yeah, I do always say, because I always mean that. We can't talk right now, but it means we're going to talk later. So what I'm saying is Olowalu is not county property, that piece over there. So in case you're wondering, it goes back to the state. They loaned it to us as an emergency so that we could do the project that was done there. So in case you had any questions, I just wanted to put a cap on that.
Okay. Mahalo, Mayor. And thank you again to USACE for all of your hard work over all this time. Next up from the EPA, we're going to hear from Sarah Petroza to talk about Wahikuli.
Aloha everyone, my name is Sarah Pedroza. I'm the Environmental Protection Agency's Disaster Recovery Coordinator. I'm based on Maui and also currently mission assigned to support Maui wildfire recovery. I know I've presented in front of you all on various topics and worn different papale throughout the few years since the fires, but tonight I am here to provide an update on our Wahikuli Gravity Sewer Project. So a very brief overview for those not familiar. The Wahikuli House Lot subdivision houses about 250 lots. The area is not sewered and also predominantly reliant on cesspools and septic systems. And so it was identified early on that there was potentially going to be a delay or an impact to residents rebuilding in this area due to the State of Hawaii Department of Health's 2050 no cesspool law. And so the County of Maui requested assistance to FEMA, and FEMA provided a mission assignment and actually funded a contract vehicle to EPA to provide 100% shovel-ready designs to expedite the construction of a sewer in this area and to help relieve residents from having to convert to septic systems, which would be very pricey. So high level, we worked with the state of Hawaii and the county of Maui to provide cesspool guidance, and then we also helped to support with some of the cesspool inspections, and then we launched our design project. In the spring and summer, we were able to complete all of our surveying, and we were also able to complete our environmental assessment showing no impact for the development of a sewer in the Wahikuli house lot subdivision. And then after that, we were presented our 30% designs in August 2025. 60% designs were completed in November. 90% designs we're going to be receiving in about 2 weeks in December 2025. And then the entire design project package will be submitted to the county in spring of 2026. So a lot of progress has been made over the last year. For those unfamiliar with engineering design, for the complexity of this subdivision, it's amazing that the amount of work was being able to be done in this time frame. So mahalo to our partners from FEMA, to the County of Maui, especially Department of Health, and so many others that made this happen. Very quickly, the updated site plans that we've showed in the past that show the map of the area, the placement of the laterals, where there'll be easements, where there'll be grinder pump versus gravity flow. We're working to update those designs to reflect 60 and 90% designs, and we'll get that up on our site on Maui Recoveries in the next week or so. So there's a direct link to the sewer project that has all of this background information. It's mauirecoveries.org/Wahikuli Sewer Project, and I'll come back to notify you guys once that's updated. We've also accumulated various other frequently asked questions, specifically in regards to requesting changes to laterals. So the last update I would like to make is that we conducted community engagement and held a few different workshops with the Wahikuli community, and we received some feedback for those residents that needed to make changes to their lateral placement. And so we closed that feedback in October. We submitted that feedback to our contractors and our engineers to see if it could be incorporated into the 60% design, and we notified all of those residents that requested changes to see if we could accommodate that in November. So if you did not receive that email and you requested a change to your lateral placement and didn't see the email, I do have an Excel spreadsheet that shows all those requests, and you can come see me and the lovely county team after this to review those and ask any questions. And then with that, I just wanted to provide an update that the County of Maui will also be reaching out to all of the residents in the Wahikuli house lot subdivision soon to obtain a right of entry to help expedite eventually when we get to the construction phase of this project, and then also to submit some additional documents for those that have easements in their property. So just be on the lookout for county to be reaching out to you to help keep this project moving forward. And that is the last update I have today. But I know this is the last community meeting of the year, so I just wanted to wish everyone a ha'oli makahiki ho and mele kaliki maka, and I'll hand it over to the next presenter.
Mahalo. So next we have Jade Rojas Latisi, and as Councilmember Paulton teased earlier, very helpfully, we're going to be talking about the Hawaii Enterprise Zones.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello, everyone. As she mentioned, my name is Jade Rojas Latisi. I am the Director for the Office of Economic Development. I've been in this position for about 2 months and some change. And before I get into the Enterprise Zone program, I just wanted to share a little bit of what our Office of Economic Development, which is actually a division in the Mayor's office, has been going through. So really exciting opportunity for us. We've been developing a new strategic framework that really highlights what a lot of our local workforce is made out of, and we're calling it our Kama'aina economy. And while, of course, we support our visitor industry because that's what a lot of our workforce is made up of, we're looking at other diversification efforts, right? And also how it pertains to our recovery and well-being efforts, and Mayor's priorities for the community as it pertains to Kama'aina housing, cultural and natural resources, and mental health and well-being, and those priorities moving forward. So with that, when I came on board, we were trying to identify too, like, how do we support our small businesses, right? And so this enterprise program came up, and by coincidence, it has had to go through a rezoning process, which actually happens once every 20 years, and we're at that 20-year mark, and I'll go into that a little bit more. Is there a click? Okay, so the Hawaii Enterprise Zone Partnership Program is actually a partnership, and it's more so state-led through the DBET program. But we're here today. They send the regrets that they could not be here today, and this is actually a presentation from their department, which was also introduced during the council meeting on 11/7, I believe. So the Enterprise Zone program was created to increase business activity, job growth, and the retention in economically challenged areas. The EASY program does this by offering state and county tax and other benefits to companies located within these areas for 7 years, and I'll go into those benefits as well too. So some of the state-specific benefits that are offered include 100% exemption from the general excise tax and use tax every year, and again, this is for 7 years. The GE exemption applies only to gross revenues from EASY eligible businesses categorized within an EASY, and again, EASY stands for Enterprise Zone. And if a business wants to reconstruct or renovate, qualified and licensed construction companies and contractors hired are also exempt from charging EASY companies the GET for any work that is done within that EASY business site. Another incentive includes 80% reduction of state income tax for the first year, with the reduction going down 10% each year for the remaining 6 years. And the last incentive includes an additional tax reduction equal to 80% of annual unemployment insurance premiums the first year, and again, with the reduction going down 10% each year for 6 more years. So some of the benefits that the county offers for this program, and actually there's one that is offered, right, depending on where the business is located. But for Maui County specifically, we offer a priority business permitting process. Some of the requirements to be eligible to be in this EASY program. I'll start actually at the second, because at least half of the firm's annual gross income must be from or more of the following areas. And I'm not sure if everyone can see it, so I'll just quickly list off the different industries that are supported. So we have agriculture, production or processing, manufacturing, wholesale distribution, maritime, biotechnology, research, development, production or sales, aviation and maritime repair and maintenance, telecommunications, informational technology design and production, medical research, clinical trials and telemedicine, for-profit training programs, and international business management or environmental remediation, repair or maintenance of assistive technology equipment, certain types of call centers, and wind energy producers. And I want to put emphasis on the fact that this list was created 20 years ago, so it was a much different time. So we are looking into ways that we can advocate for different industries to qualify for these programs. And so as you'll see from this map across the whole state, there's a large chunk of Maui County that is covered, which is actually absolutely amazing and really exciting for small businesses, right? And as you compare it to the other islands, which is not necessarily the case. So across the state, there's currently 152 companies that are within these programs. A lot of companies are within the agricultural production, manufacturing and wholesaling distribution. And within Maui County specifically, the biggest chunk is in agricultural production or processing, and then manufacturing and wholesaling, and information technology design and production. And this is their most recent report that was done in 2023. Okay, so Councilmember Paulton had mentioned that this is coming up to council. So, and as I had mentioned previously, every 20 years there's an opportunity for the redesignation of the zones. So currently we have 4 zones total in Maui County, right? We have Lanai, we have Molokai, and then we have 2 zones within Maui. So the greater area of Maui was actually passed by council back on November 7th, and now we have the Napili zone that we're looking into that will hopefully get passed this Friday at this council meeting. I'd like to I also mention the timeline too. So we have the Greater Maui and the West Maui. Again, the Greater Maui was passed. That effective date originally was back on May 1st, back in 2006, with the deadline being April 30th, 2026. And it's essential that we do it now because it has to go through the process of approvals, right? So once it's approved here in Maui County, then it goes over to the DBET director and then over to the governor for approval in order to meet that timeline of April. Okay, and then these are just some maps to give you an idea of what the redesignation and the zones look like up close. We will have those resources available too if you want to take a closer look at them, but due to time constraints, I'll go ahead and skip over them. Okay, and in order to be in the zones as well too, there are some requirements involved for the businesses. So for new companies that are coming into the enterprise zones, there's an increase in the number of full-time employees by 10%. So we actually see this as more of a benefit, right? Because it's really highlighting the need to hire local. So we're really happy to hear that. With the new amended program, that's going to move up. So within the first year, it needed to be 10%, and 10% is carried across the 7 years. With the new amendment, it would be 10% up to 3 years, and then with the 4th through 7th year being 15% requirement in hiring for our local workforce. And if you have additional questions, this is the contact for the representative at the state office who can clarify more in depth, although we, of course, again, work very closely with them and have information that we can provide to you as well. Before I close up, I just want to share that this is something that we absolutely feel necessary needs to go forward in order to highlight our small businesses, right? We see small businesses as the backbone of the community. We see it as the mom and pop shops. We see it as the farmers. We see all these incredible, amazing companies that really showcase our local talent, not just here locally, but on a global level. And as we move forward again to diversifying and uplifting our economy, this is absolutely the low-hanging fruit and a way that we can do that. So again, I'll be here after the meeting to answer any questions you might have, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. We know there's a lot of really good content on those slides, and so we just want to make sure everyone knows that all the details and those slides are going to be available on the Maui Recovers website posted tomorrow in case anybody wants to go back and look in detail at those percentages and timelines and all those good figures. So up next from NEMA, Amos Lonokailua Hewitt will be providing some updates. Oh, here you are.
Aloha mai kākou. Amos Lonokailua here with the Maui Emergency Management Agency. Happy to see all of you here today. I'm going to be talking about the Wildfire Risk Reduction Program led by NEMA. Right now it's a pilot program. I'm identifying the scope of a Wildfire Risk Reduction Program as a call to all of you, to answer the call from all of you, which are concerned with the wildfire risk, the hazardous fuels that plague our county because of unmanaged lands, and the Wildfire Risk Reduction Program is something that is fallen in NEMA, and I'm going to share some of those things with all of you. The program includes a lot of things, and I just kind of want to point some of these things out. So wildfire risk reduction includes vegetation management. It includes grazing or strategies that include grazing, prescribed fire, and mechanical removal. It also, I'll talk about the fuel break program in a little bit, but it includes encampment clearance. At times, there's going to be encampments that contribute to the fuel load, contribute to the fire risk, and under the Wildfire Risk Reduction Plan, that would fall under me to address. Ignition management. So electric vehicle batteries is an emerging hazard that has a tremendous extreme fire risk of thermal runaway, even communications with HECO in relationship to just ignition management strategies. That kind of falls on us as well. Electric vehicle battery disposal. That falls under our wildfire risk reduction program because it does contribute to wildfire spread. In all of that, there's this cultural site protection and ecological restoration part that comes part of wildfire risk reduction program. And I share that with all of you because I just want you to know that in this program, there's a lot of moving parts. It's not a snap of a finger and it all goes away. It requires a lot of funding, a lot of partners, a lot of coordination, a lot of permitting. And I just wanted to share with you those challenges within running such a program. Partners in coordination, you can see our county partners that we work in depending on the property itself. We'll be calling on all these partners. I'll talk about some of those partners in the Ukumehame project, but we do connect with all county, state, and federal partners as part of wildfire risk reduction. The Ukumehame project, you guys can see it, 42-acre property, I think 5 county properties next to the primary transportation artery coming into West Maui, next to a residential area, next to drought conditions and invasive grasses that will spread towards the west. It was identified as our first project that we just got completed in November, and I'm going to talk about some of that. The first being the vegetation management. You guys can see that we cleared all of that opiuma around there, from Halikoa, Kiave, invasive grasses. Now that spot is clear. This challenged every aspect of the wildfire risk reduction program because we needed contractors to come in that could address the 20-plus foot opiuma, and we needed special equipment to take that down into wood chips. Encampment clearance, there was a few encampments in the area that we had to go through that process to treat everyone with respect while reducing the risk. And that's a really difficult space to address, but just to go over some of the additional fuels that contribute to the wildfire risk. So some of those fuels, 176 tons of solid waste, 76 tons of scrap metal, 2.5 tons of recycled metal, 13 tons of damaged electric vehicle batteries, 1,200 tires, 34 Freon appliances, 123 vehicles, 2 boats, a front end loader, an excavator, and 10 drums of waste oil. So all of those things is part of wildfire risk reduction. They contribute to the fuel. If those things light up on fire, those areas light up on fire, it's very, very difficult for a fire department to stop it. Very difficult. In this particular project, there was an electric vehicle battery concern that required the state DOH HERE office to come in, as well as the EPA, to support us neutralizing the batteries, 13 tons or 27,000 pounds of electric vehicle batteries that needed to be neutralized and packaged and disposed of. Happy to say that those 13 tons will be leaving our state soon if they haven't already left. Hazard mitigation program. HMGP post-fire. So we received $2.7 million from the federal government to support a fuel break program led by the fire department. The fire department has identified 100 parcels countywide, many of them in Lahaina, that will go through mechanical removal for those fuels. Those fuels or those parcels are up against and up against the wildland-urban interface. We are going through a environmental assessment right now. Hopefully within the next few months, after the assessment is done, the FEMA will approve, and then we can draw down and actually start moving those or reducing those fuels. on county lands, like you guys heard, I said MEMA. So the Fuel Break program kind of addresses the private lands run by the fire department through code enforcement. The public lands kind of primarily fall on MEMA by Ukumehame. Once again, is 5 county parcels. We have Waiale, which is another few hundred acres of county land, and our job is to reduce. What I want to say is that there is a tremendous amount of work ahead of us. There's a lot of lands that are unmanaged, and we are attempting to address that quickly. We are attempting to expand our agency, our hazard mitigation section specifically to be able to not only address the hazardous fuels, but also maintain hazardous fuels in perpetuity. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Mahalo. Okay, mahalo nui. So next up, we have Randy and Robin Clark from Hope Homes Foundation to talk about owner-builder resources. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Thank you, City and County. Thank you, City and County, for letting us be here tonight to share what we're doing. Really appreciate it. What we kind of came up with one night out of the blue, I was kind of right after the fire going, what can we do to help the community here? Well, being a builder, for me, first thing I thought about was how can we help people build? And for me, I was an owner builder, but I had background in building. Back in the day, we used to call them $1 million homes. Obviously, that's no longer the case. That's $1 million land right now. But anyway, that's how it started. I talked to my wife and go, what can we do to help people rebuild their house? So that's how this kind of came up. And it's been a process, but it's a good process. We are definitely reaching out to people that have a lot of questions on building, and that's been really helpful for everybody. It's not so much, a lot of people already have different builds going with Samaritan's Purse and the Mennonites and their own contractor. But we are working with some people that still want to do it on their own, and the information that we've been able to put out has been real helpful for everybody. This would be, somehow we always got a picture of our family thrown in here. It has grown a little bit. What was that joke they used to say? That was back when there was no TV. But anyway, moving on from there. Am I supposed to read that or what? Okay. Anyway, so what we're here to do is discuss and let people know what we have to offer is to help people on an owner-builder scale. What it takes to build your house from foundation to finish, and all the steps involved, and what's the requirement. We have a lot of people who are interested in doing it, but you'd be amazed once you step in and start to realize all the work involved. There's a lot, okay? And even me, when I came up with this idea, it was kind of like, oh yeah, but I had the background, which makes a big